Supporting people so that with help they can begin to attempt tasks themselves and eventually complete them independently is an important part of the personal recovery process. Supporting to empowerment is fundamental to the Recovery College approach of supporting recovery through learning achievement. In the case of enrolling with the Recovery College, either to attend classes in person or online, it's a crucial first step that sets the tone for their time as a student. In many situations, the degree of involvement a support worker will have with the task will fall somewhere between, to all intents and purposes, doing the job on behalf of the client and being available to help them put things right in the event that something should go wrong when they're doing it for themselves. Where on this spectrum the support sits should generally depend on the client and the task in hand. The level of support offered will be adjusted to the situation and to the developmental needs of the client. There may be a tension between the needs to progress the client to a greater degree of independence, their readiness to take more personal responsibility, and completing the task in a timely manner. The old proverb, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime, could have been written with supporting people who are on a personal recovery journey in mind. All of the elements of chime are here when you learn how to fish. You become a member of the fishing community. That's connectedness. You can look forward to eating fish whenever you want it. Hope. You can list fisherman as one of your skills. Identity. One of your purposeful activities is to catch a fish for your supper. Meaning. You're not dependent on anyone else to keep you free from hunger. Empowerment. But it takes a lot less time to catch a fish and give it to him than it does to teach him how to tie and bait a hook, cast, catch and land a fish of his own. The temptation, particularly if we're under time pressure, is to do all or some of the job ourselves. However, the problem with this is that the client does not progress with any new skills or knowledge towards becoming more empowered. Sometimes the challenge is choosing the point at which we stop baiting the hook for our fisherman and ask him to take full ownership of catching his own supper. We don't want to drop him in at the deep end, but neither do we want him to remain dependent on us for his meal. The solution is to progress him through a support spectrum in a way and at a pace that matches his developing skills and remaining needs as a rookie fisherman. When learning any new skill, we all move through 4 developmental phases, and for many people the most relatable way to describe this is in the context of learning to drive. Let's consider how a driving instructor supports you and adjusts that support to meet the learning phase you're experiencing. On your first lesson, you will be completely dependent on the instructor, but their ambition is to get you to a point of complete motoring independence. When you first get into the car, you have no idea how little you know about what it takes to drive. You're unconscious of your level of incompetence. At this stage, during your first few lessons, your instructor is not teaching you that much. They're keeping you safe by doing most of the important work with the dual controls. They are your aid. When you have a few lessons and you become aware of just how far away from passing your test you are, you become conscious of your incompetence. At this stage, your instructor is coaching you to develop your knowledge and skills, keeping you going and growing in confidence. After a few more lessons, you can perform all of the basics, provided you're not distracted in any way. You look down at the gear stick when you change gear and will stall the car if your sequence is in any way disturbed. You can drive reasonably competently, provided you can apply all of your conscious effort to each of the tasks in the rehearsed order. You are consciously competent. At this stage, your instructor is being very encouraging and helping you overcome any persistent errors or emerging bad habits. But most of the teaching is over. They've become your cheerleader. As you approach your driving test, all of the elements of safe driving happen like clockwork. Mirror, signal, maneuver, change gear, cover the brake, all without actively thinking about it. You are performing all of the tasks automatically and without consciously thinking about them. You have become unconscious of your competence. You just drive and your instructor facilitates practicing your new skills, stymies any developing bad habits, and reflects these observations to you, boosting your confidence. Through this process, the learner moves from incompetent to competent and from dependent to independent in the performance of the task. There are risks in this process. The learner may crash the car. However, if we always take the wheel the moment the road gets busy, confidence and ability will always plateau before dependence has been overcome. If we are to support our clients to empowerment and the attendant independence that offers, we have to switch roles from aid to coach to cheerleader to facilitator, in step with the client's growing ability to perform the task in question. So how does this affect the way you should support your client to enrol with the Recovery College? To offer any enduring recovery benefit, the decision to become a student should be an informed, independent choice made by the client. This means thinking in terms of signposting rather than referring your client to the Recovery College. To make informed decisions, they obviously need the information about the college and what it offers. You can support signposting by sharing the timetable and prospectus, the guide to new students, and the college magazine with your clients. If they have limited digital skills or access, you may need to use your bridge device to facilitate this support. Many new students are still at the stage where any type of paperwork is intimidating to them, so become familiar with the enrolment forms and support them to fill it out. And for those that find travelling difficult, support them to get to the college for their initial classes. So what does this all mean when we apply this thinking to engaging with the Recovery College online? To get the best from their time with the college, your client needs to be able to operate their device independently. They need to be at least consciously competent, able to independently work through the basics that are included in the Welcome to Recovery College Moodle or RCM course, using their notes if necessary. Clients who need your intervention to log into their Recovery College Learner account, divide their screen between the worksheet window and the remote classroom window, control their microphone or camera, need more practice before they can join their first Recovery College online session. With so many different types of device in use, it's impossible for the college staff to know how to troubleshoot these types of problems remotely. And for this reason, it's really important that you've supported your client towards empowerment with the device they're going to use for the lessons. Joining before they have these reasonably under control has the potential to undermine their confidence, and this can knock on to other areas of their recovery progress as well.